adding granulations and other tiny bits. What is the best soldering technique? I want to get away from solder paste.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. You don't like solder paste. So the best way that I think to do it, and in fact Louise has been doing granulation, adding granules, haven't you? Which is, go on, I'll let you answer this. What do you find is the best way?
Well, I'm in experimenting.
Yes.
So if I'm just adding a few granules, like I made a ring for my daughter, didn't I, a couple of weeks ago, and I just had I think I was about 5 on each side of a stone, and I just burr a little divot where I want the granule to go, and I just sweated a little tiny bit of solder into the divot, and then just plopped the granule on and heated it back up, and it just
Located
90% of the time it located. But I think I'd be better off. I did that because I had gold granules. But if I was using silver granules, I might put the solder on the granules,
and then
because then they're going to sit in the hole.
Yes.
Without, and then you, hopefully, it doesn't eliminate, but it does minimise them rolling all over the place, especially if you've got like a curved band.
Yes.
So that is one thing that I do.
Yes.
But yeah, I think sweating the solder onto the ball rather than the piece, unless it's completely flat, does help.
Because, sorry, go on.
Otherwise you just got hot balls rolling all over your bench. It just happened a few times.
Hot balls.
Yeah.
So there's the ring, ball burr, yeah, comes down, makes a divot. Okay, like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Louise
But
then...
I've got it in my third hand so that the ball, I'll do them in stages so that whatever's facing upright, I'm going to put it in. I wouldn't do it like that, that's silly. It would be at the top. Otherwise it's still going to roll out, isn't it? Because, you know, gravity, yeah.
Like that, okay. And then what you do, you sweat solder in here. But what you can also do...
But I wouldn't do that, because then you just fill that divot back in. And you're back to square one, so I would put it on the ball. Okay,
so what you could do is sweat solder. So you sweat solder, some solder in here, but then you could go back over with your ball burr to come along and just make a very small divot.
I like it.
Yeah, so you've removed a little bit of solder, but you've still got a layer of solder underneath. So you've still got that divot for the ball to locate in, and then when this heats up, the ball is on the divot and it'll just drop.
That's cool.
So make a divot slightly bigger than what you would normally...
So re-divot it after you've soldered.
Yes.
Okay.
So don't do a shallow one like that. Do it a little bit deeper, like that. Sweat solder, divot out again, right in the middle. You've got some solder in there already. Or, as you say, sweat solder onto there, put it into the hole, and it'll transfer across. But never heat the ball. Always heat the metal. Yeah?
Yeah. That's what I've been experimenting with.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it.
I don't know. I'm not saying that's the best way to do it. I'm just saying that's what I've been doing, and with some success.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing more than a few, I would do a few with hard, and then a few with medium, and then a few with easy solder.
But what I'm sure,
manage it that way.
I'm sure what you'll find is that even if you have a couple of balls coming down here, they're not going to drop off, because the solder is almost, even if the solder may be molten, the solder likes to pull onto things. So even the balls maybe by here,
and they're in that divot as well, so provided you haven't turned it on its side, it's not going to, hopefully it won't roll out.
Exactly.
But there's better ways, and of course the best way, one of the best ways is argentium.
Of course.
Because that will, you don't need solder, then you can fuse the balls on.
Yeah.
You do have to build them. Yeah. And once they're fused on, you can build and build. But you do have to remember that gravity isn't your friend when you use an argentium, and if you build it too high, I guess, or if you don't keep something flat, the whole thing just wants to collapse in front of your eyes.
Yes.
But there's more on that in our argentium workshop, which is on the workshops tab on at the bench.
Or suspend the ring on a ceramic finger.
Oh.
And you burnt yourself with a ceramic finger. I know.
I don't like to look at it now because the pain still happens when I see it.